What's going on, guys? This is Pikachu OTC from Simple Trade. Welcome to the weekly review number 21, in which I'll be talking about some runners from the past week, and we'll start off with the company GTLL Global Technologies Ltd, which is a CBD company. And between November 11th to November 17th, we had a 290% run on a very liquid stock. Now you can see right here, very strange situation. The stock price went down all the way to the low trips of the 0003 with 900 plus million volume in one day. Now there is not verified information about what caused this dump, what happened right here, but it could be something that was planned. On the same day, the company issued a press release about the trading activity on that day, and they promised that the company prefers not to speculate on the trading activity of its stock. However, given the recent decline and inquiries from investors, the company confirms the following. Everything material has been disclosed by the company in either its press release or financial reports disclosed in its filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Further, the company wishes to reassure its shareholders that it remains on track with its current operations. So they're saying that they won't speculate what happened right here, but they promise that everything is okay. There was no any leaked information, and that they are staying on track with their plans. And 4 trading days later, the company issued a press release on the pre-market, thus the huge gap up right here. And on that press release, they said that GTLL is pleased to inform shareholders the company has entered into a letter of intent to acquire Tersus Power Incorporation. Tersus Power's sole objective is to design a safe, adaptable, and affordable hydrogen fueling station that allows for rapid development and deployment of hydrogen fueling infrastructure while minimizing the risk to investors. We can also see down here that Tersus Power generated over $2 million in revenue during the 2021 by providing engineering services contracts in the hydrogen industry. And finally, we can see that the transaction is anticipated to be closed during the first quarter of 2022, but that LOI got the stock price to go from 0023 to 0039, about 70% rise in one day on a liquid stock with 900 million volume, and overall we got about 290% run from what we could call a deep opportunities 4 days before that press release. And from here we'll move on to the next stock of this weekly review, and that stock is LICH or LICH. And the first thing that you see on the chart is that there was absolutely zero volume for a very long time, and all of a sudden massive volume came in. This is a 15-minute candle chart, and you can see that the stock price movement was extreme. We had a 300% run in about 30 minutes, which is absolutely insane. Now, the reason for the volatility of this stock is the float of the company. It is a low floater. This is a 100 million float company. It is a pink current information company from the OTC. It has the shell sign, meaning that it has no operating business right now. And on the business description on the OTC markets, you can see that the company is seeking business opportunities. Now, the reason for the sudden volume and the extreme rise of 300% in 30 minutes is the report that they filed with the OTC markets. And what you can see on the report, that it is a shell company, and that also they marked the yes on indicate by checkmark whether a change of control of the company has occurred over this reporting period. And if we dig a little deeper into the filings, we can see that there is a new control person, and that person is Viomi Therapeutics Incorporation. So it is a new company that merging into LICH, and just by searching Viomi on Google, you can see that they are now on phase 2 trial for moderate to severe acne. Now, acne is a very common issue, very common medical problem in the world. So if they are on phase 2 and they are now merging into an OTC company, you can bet that the volume will come in. And due to that fact, the stock went up 300% in 30 minutes, and overall for the day about 100%. And even though the market was weak last week, the stock still ran 300%, and that's due to the fact that it is a low floater with a very good news. So the market condition does not matter most of the times on low floaters. If they have good news or good update, the situation of the market won't necessarily affect the stock because of its low float. And now we'll move on to another low floater company that ran about 2,000% in about 1 week, which is absolutely crazy in the market that we are in right now. And that stock is ENGA. Now you can see here that what looks like a lot of volume, but if you look right here on the right, you can see that this is a 100,000 volume for each block, and about here it is 1 million volume only. Now the reason for that is because that stock is not only a low floater, this is a super low floater. This is 1.2 million float of a company, which is absolutely the lowest of the lowest. And if that company gets good news, you can bet that with very little volume it can run very high. Now on November 8th, the stock price went up 300% intraday, and the reason for that is the determination of a custodianship. ENGA was a custodianship by Small Caps Compliance, which is controlled by Ronda. And on the filings that was published on November 8th, they added on the subsequent events that on October 20, 2021, Small Caps Compliance LLC and Bibuzi Ltd entered into a stock purchase agreement whereby Bibuzi Ltd purchased 100,000 preferred A stock, the control block. Ronda resigned as sole officers and director. Joseph Oniero was appointed sole officers and director. Now 1 week later, there was no specific news or specific update that could have justified the volume that came in and the price action on these 3 days right here. But what happened was people started to do their due diligence, and they've seen the Bibuzi exposure and their net worth, and mostly because they compared ENGA to ELEK, which we will review after this stock. ELEK ran about 2,000% as well, or even more, in a very little time. And just like ENGA, it is a very low floater stock. So people compared the fact that ELEK ran 2,000%, and they said that if it happened over there, it could happen with ENGA. And what do you know? It did in fact happen from the first day of the update in their filings. Now, even though that the stock already ran 2,000%, which is incredible, the story here just begins because the reverse merger was now just completed, and we still did not hear a word from the new management. We have seen no PR yet, so keep your eyes out for ENGA for possible upcoming news. And now let's move on to the final stock of this weekly review, and that stock is ELEK. And as you can see right here, the stock ran 2,300% in 2 to 3 days, which is absolutely insane. And we'll go through over here what happened here. And the first thing that you need to know is that this is also a very low floater company. This is an 18 million float of a stock, and you can see it right here on the volume bars. 3 million volume got the stock price to go about 1,000 or even more percent in 1 day, and overall 2,300+% in about 3 days, which is absolutely insane. Now ELEK is an EV company that innovates mobility solutions for consumers and businesses. The reason for the huge massive volume that came in on November 16 is very simple, and that's due to a news that the company released. And in that news they said that Miami billionaire Dr. Michael Deezer becomes one of the majority shareholders in ELEK Incorporation, which is ELEK. Now it really doesn't matter what's inside the news, except for the fact that a billionaire is now one of the majority shareholders in the company. And you can already assume that if a billionaire is one of the majority shareholders in the company, that company might have very big plans in the future, and they might have the funding to complete their patent pending invention. And that was it about the weekly review. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the future videos. Remember guys, even though the market is weak and even though sometimes we will have a bad market, the low floaters will suffer the least, and on good news and good update they could run massively high. Once again, thank you for joining and have a green and a profitable week.